Hello students, how are you all? I hope you all are doing great. I am Neha Rajvanshi and I welcome you all in today's class, that is English class of class 10th. So students, now in today's video we will start reading with our next topic from our grammar syllabus. So the next topic is modals, okay? So now we will understand all the things that are related with modals. We will see the different kinds of modals and we will see their uses, okay? So now let's begin our today's video that is based on modals. So first of all, let's see what modals means. What are these words actually? So let's read. Modals or modal auxiliaries are finite verbs which modify the meaning of the main verb by adding to it various shades of the speaker's mood or attitude. Okay, so what actually modal means? Modal is also known as modal auxiliaries, right? Auxiliaries we all know, right? जो verbs होती हैं, जो helping verbs होती हैं. So yes, modals they are also known as modal auxiliaries and generally ये क्या करते हैं? They modify the meaning of the main verb. And how can they modify? Because they are able to add to it various shades of the speaker's mood or attitude. It means the speaker, the person who is speaking something, so what is his mood or what is his attitude or what is his intention. So according to that, he can use any of the model, and that model shows that what is the mood of the speaker, what is the attitude, or we can say what is the intention of the speaker. So modal means we can say modal auxiliaries also. So they are the words that can modify the main verb. Okay, we can use same main verb, but when when that main verb is used with different kinds of models, then we can say that okay, according to any other model, we can have a different meaning, a different shade, a different attitude from that similar main verb. Okay, so this is we can say the magic of the models, because जिस किसी भी main verb के साथ use होते हैं, so then it can modify the meaning of that main verb according to the speaker's intention, according to the speaker's mood and his attitude. Clear? The word modal is derived from the word mood, and this word modal, actually this word came from the word mood. Okay, so now it is very much clear that modals, they are used according to the mood of the speaker, according to the attitude, or we can say intention of the speaker. And the word modal, it actually derived from this word only, that is mood. नेक्स्ट लेट्स सी जो मॉडल्स है वो कितने होते हैं, कौन कौन से वर्ड्स हैं दैट वी इंक्लूड इन दिस कैटेगरी, दैट इज मॉडल्स, और वी कैन से दैट इज मॉडल ऑक्सिलरीज. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी आर हैविंग सम मॉडल्स एंड देन वी आर हैविंग सम सेमी मॉडल्स ऑल्सो. ओके, सो देयर आर टू कैटेगरीज. फर्स्ट इज मेन मॉडल्स, द मेजर मॉडल्स वी कैन से, एंड इन द सेकेंड कैटेगरी वी आर हैविंग सेमी मॉडल्स. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल let's read what are our main models. So we are having in this category can, second is could, next is may, then might, then we are having shall, and we are having should, then we are having will, would, ought to, and we are having must. So these are 10 models, and these 10 words, or we can say these 10 models, they are known as the major models. These 10 models, they are known as the main models. So students, one thing is noticeable here, and don't get confused, that these two words shall and will, so we have studied these two words as helping verbs in the future tense, right? इससे पहले जो हमने टेंस टॉपिक करा है, in which we discussed all the different tenses and all the rules. So in the future simple tense, we have studied that in future simple tense we were having two helping verbs like shall and will. So shall and will, yes, they are the helping verb of future tenses, but at the same time these two words are also included in modal category also. So in this video also we will see what are the uses of shall and will when they are used as models. Okay, so shall and will, yes, they are the helping verbs in the future tense, but at the same time they are also a part of the model. Okay, so in the model category we are having these 10 models, we are having these 10 words. Now the second category is semi model. So in this category we are having 3 models only. The first one is used to, second is need, and third one is dare. So these 3 are known as a semi model, and in total we are having 13 models, right? So we are having in total 13 words, and these 13 words are called models. और इसको हम ज़्यादा categorized अगर हम करें, then we are having 2 categories. These 10 words are known as main, or we can say major models, and these 3 models they are known as semi models. Okay, so we are having these 13 models, and one by one we will see all the uses of the models. We will discuss first of all can, then could, then may and might, in this way, and then we will see the uses of all the models, the different uses जहाँ ये models use होते हैं, and how can they change, how can they modify the meaning of the main verb, and what is the mood of all these models. Okay, so now let's start. So the first model that we will study is can. So can is our very first model, and we can say it's the very commonly used model. So let's see what are the uses of can. और जो can model है ये कहाँ कहाँ use होता है, किस तरह के sentence में use होता है. So let's read the first use of can. Can shows ability, capability, capacity, power, potential, skill, know how to in the present time. So this is the very first use of can, and here we have to learn this thing that this word can, it is used in present time, right? And it is used to show all these things that are ability. Second is capability, capacity, power, potential, or we can say skill, or we can say know how to. But one thing you have to be careful, that all these things should be there in present time only, then only we have to use this model, that is can, right? So the first use of can is that it shows capacity, it shows ability, capability, potential, skill, know how to, but only and only in present time. So now let's see some of the example of this thing. So the first sentence that we are having here is, this room can hold 100 chairs. So actually we are showing the capacity of the room, right? We are showing the size of the room, we are showing the capacity of the room, and we are saying that this room can hold, okay, 100 chairs. So actually we are showing the capacity of the room, and this is the reason that we are using can in our sentence. So students, one more thing that I want to clear here, that in this sentence you can see that we are not having any helping verbs, and we cannot say that which tense we are having. So models are this is the reason that models are also known as modal auxiliaries, because they also work as the helping verb. Okay, जैसे टेंसेस की अलग अलग हेल्पिंग वर्ब्स होती हैं, वैसे ही जो मॉडल्स है दे आर यूज्ड. सो जब हम मॉडल यूज़ करते हैं, सो इन दैट सेंटेंस हम अकॉर्डिंग टू टेंस हम हेल्पिंग वर्ब मेन वर्ब यूज़ नहीं करते हैं, वी जस्ट यूज आर मॉडल्स, राइट? सो दिस इज द वेरी फर्स्ट सेंटेंस दैट शोज द कैपेसिटी, एंड दिस इज द रीजन दैट वी आर हैविंग कैन इन द सेंटेंस. Second sentence is, he can run very fast, and yes, this is the ability of that person that we are talking about here, that he is having the ability to run very fast. So here we are showing the ability of someone, and this is the reason that we are using can here, and the sentence is, he can run very fast. One more example we are having, he can speak English fluently. Again, this is the ability. So we can say that can is used to show the ability, both physical ability and mental ability, right? So ability कैसी भी हो सकती है, all the abilities, all the capacity, capability, potentials, skill, all these things जब हमें express करनी होती हैं, then we use can, but just remember we use can only in the present time. Clear? Next, moving on, we are having the second use of can. So let's read. Can means be able to or in a position to. So the second use of can is that this word, this modal can, it is used in this meaning when we are saying that someone is able to, or if we are saying that someone is in a position to, right? So to denote these feelings, to denote these meanings, we also use can. So let's see the example of this thing. Suppose we are having this sentence that I can deal with this problem. So what it means actually, it means that I am able to deal with this problem, or we can say that I am in a position to deal with this problem. So for this meaning, where we wanted to express this thing that someone is able to do something or someone is in a position to do something, so to express these feelings, to express these moods, we also use can as a model, right? And one thing that is very much clear here, that can is used for all the subjects, for singular subject, for plural subject, for all the subjects we can use this model, right? So suppose यहाँ पे अगर I की जगह suppose she होता, then also we can use can. She can deal with this problem. Similarly, if we are having these we all know it's a plural, so then also we can use can. They can deal with this problem. So can is a model that is used for all the subjects. We can use can for singular, and we can use this for plural subjects also, right? Next, let's read the third use of this model can. Can in questions beginning with WH words shows puzzlement or impatience. So sometimes we can have the sentences that are having questions, and that sentence may start with the WH words, right? So in such sentences, can shows puzzlement, or we can say impatience. So how? So let's see the examples. The first one is what can I do? Second is where can I go? And at the end of both the sentence we are having the question mark. It means this is the interrogative sentence, and in the beginning of the sentence we are having WH word, right? In the first sentence we are having what, in the second sentence we are having where. So when WH word is there in the beginning of the sentence and can is there, so it means that in sentence what is the mood? That sentence shows puzzlement, or we can say that sentence shows impatience, right? So puzzlement and impatience, these are the moods that are reflected in such sentences that starts with WH word, and in those sentences if can is there, then those sentences actually show puzzlement, or we can say impatience, right? Like here someone is so much puzzled that what can I do or where can I go, right? Next we are having the fourth use of can. So let's read. Can shows informal permission. So yes, this word can, it is also used for permission, but just remember, just clear this thing, it is used for informal permission, right? So what it means, so for that we are having some examples. So let's read. First one is you can take my pen or book or anything. Second is you can go now. Next is can I see your telephone directory. So first thing is clear here that can is used for informal permission, right? Just be very careful about this word informal permission. And second is that can is used in both the ways, to give the permission, or we can say to take the permission. So here we are having you can take my pen, right? We are giving the permission, and here we are asking for the permission. We are asking that can I see your telephone directory. So in informal permission in both the ways, to give the permission, or we can say to ask for the permission, in both the manner can is used, but only and only in informal permission. So what informal permission means and what formal permission means. So suppose you are in your school, right? Or we can say you are in an office. So obviously there you have to be very formal. You cannot say suppose you are going to your principal's room, right? So you cannot say that can I come in. No, there you have to be very formal. You have to ask may I come in. But if you are talking very informal, then you can use this word can, right? So because can is used only and only for informal permission, it cannot be used in formal permission. For formal permissions we have to use may only. Okay, so this is the difference, and don't get confused at all. For informal permissions we can use can, and in both the condition, to ask for the permission or to give the permission, we can use can. But if we are in a formal scenario, we wanted to have or we wanted to ask some formal permission, then we cannot use this model, that is can, because it is used only in informal permissions. Okay. Next we are having the fifth use of can. So let's read. Can expresses theoretical possibility. So again, this is the use of can, that can, this model is used to show, to express, to denote theoretical possibility. So what it means, again we are having the examples to clear this thing. So let's read. Everyone can make a mistake. Second sentence that we are having is it can't be true, and the next is electricity can be dangerous. So these all are the possibility, right? So in this manner, so हम कह सकते हैं जो बहुत ही जनरल सी possibility होती है, that is applicable for all the persons, for all the people. So in that case we can use can, to show the possibility. Like the first one is that everyone can make a mistake. So yes, it's a very general possibility, because yes, we all are human beings, so we all can make a mistake. Second, it can also use in a negative form, right? So if we are having that it can't be true, so again we are showing the possibility, and we are having cannot, we are having can't here. Next is electricity can be dangerous. So again it's a possibility, and yes, it is applicable universally, it is applicable for all, right? So in such cases, to show these possibilities, we can use can as a model. Okay. Next use, the sixth one that we are having here, cannot shows impossibility and prohibition. So again, if in the sentence we are having cannot, so this shows two things. This shows impossibility and it also shows prohibition. Again we are having the examples. So let's read the first one. We cannot see without eyes. So yes, this is the impossibility, because if a person who is not having the eyes, then definitely he is not able to see. So what it means that this is a task that is totally impossible, and this is the reason that we are having cannot here in the sentence. So we are writing that we cannot see without eyes, because it's just impossible task, right? So this is the reason that we are using cannot. Second example is you cannot play in the park. So here we are having the mood, we are having the feeling of prohibition, right? We are denying this thing, we are refusing someone to play in the park, and this is the reason that we are using cannot here. So what it means that cannot, this word shows impossibility also, and it also shows prohibition. Prohibition means to deny something, किसी को कोई काम करने से रोकना, किसी को refuse करना. So in such manners we can also use cannot, like here we are denying someone, we are refusing someone to play in the park. Okay. Next we are having one more use of can. So let's read. In interrogative and negative sentences, can shows possibility. So yes, can, this model is also used to show possibility if the sentence is an interrogative or if the sentence is a negative one. So let's see the example. The sentence is can this be true? So this is the interrogative sentence, and in this interrogative sentence we are not having any WH word. The sentence starts with can only. So in this sentence we are having can this be true? So this is showing the possibility, we are asking for the possibility. So yes, in interrogative sentence or in the negative sentence, this model can, it is used to show the possibility. One more use we are having here. So let's read. Can't help is an idiom, it means can't avoid. So yes, we are having one phrase, we are having one idiom, that is can't help, and what it means can't avoid. So how it is used? So let's see. He has a bad cold, he can't help sneezing. So here we are talking about one person, and that person is having very bad cold. So if someone is having very bad cold, then definitely that person cannot help sneezing because that thing is not in his control, right? So it means he is not in the position to avoid this thing. Okay, so can't help means can't avoid. So here we are talking about one person and that person actually can't avoid this thing. This is the reason we are writing that he can't help sneezing. So can't help, it means can't avoid. One more example we are having here. The boy can't help laughing on seeing the clown. So there are some boys and there were one clown also. So when the boys they were they were looking at that clown, so it was so funny that they were totally unable to control their laugh. They were not in the position to avoid their laugh, and this is the reason we are using can't help here. And the sentence is the boys can't help laughing on seeing the clown. Okay, so these are the major uses of our very first model, that is can. So students, practice very hard, just try to understand all the uses, because in the exam we will be having some sentences, and according to the sentence, after reading the sentence, you have to recognize the mood of the sentence, and then according to the mood you have to apply the appropriate model. So just be very careful regarding the uses of all the model. You have to be very पर्टिकुलर कि हर मॉडल के क्या क्या यूजेस होते हैं. दैट थिंग हैज़ टू बी देयर इन योर माइंड. देन ओनली you will be able to read the sentence, recognize the mood of the sentence, and then you will be able to write the appropriate model. Right? So this is all about our very first model, that is can. I am sure that all the uses of can, everything is clear to you all. And now next we are having our next model, so let's move on. So the second model that we are having here is could. Next one, or we can say the second model is could. So let's read the uses, the different uses of this model, that is could. We are having the very first use, so let's read. Could shows ability, capacity, capability, power, knew how to in the past time. Okay, so I am sure that you are able to recall what was the first use of can that we have discussed some time ago. In the first use of can also we read the same words. We read ability, capacity, capability, power, know how to, but what was the difference? The difference was that when we were reading can, then we discussed this thing, that all these things should be there in the present time. But now when we are reading could, then we are having that all these things should be in past time only. Okay, so what it means? It means to show the ability, we are having two models, that is can and could. But what is the difference? The difference is that if we are showing the ability in the present time, then we have to use can. But if we are showing the ability in the past time, then we have to use could. Okay, so can is used in present time, but could is used in the past time to show the same feelings, to show the same moods, that are ability, capacity, capability, power, skill, knew how to, right? But be careful very much that can is used in present time and could is used in past time. So now let's read some examples. The first one is he ran as fast as he could. So suppose this is the sentence and here we are having the blank. We have to fill the blank, we have to complete the sentence. So first of all we will read the sentence. The sentence is he ran as fast as he. So one thing is clear here, that this sentence shows the ability, or we can say the capacity, right? Ki someone was running as fast as he was capable of, right? जिसकी जितनी उसकी capacity थी उसके according वो उतना ही fast उसने run किया. But here we have to observe this thing, that we are having ran means we are having the second form of the verb, and again here the knowledge of the tenses वो आपके यहाँ फिर काम में आएगी, right? So again I am repeating this thing, that first of all जो हमारा first topic है tense, बहुत important topic है, because जो tense topic है वो सिर्फ tense के sum solve करने में, tense के sentence solve करने में नहीं, बल्कि बाकी बहुत सारे topic grammar के solve करने में use होता है. So here also when we are reading the sentence and when we are able to observe that we are having the second form of the verb, then this is clear that here we are having past tense, we are having past simple here because we are having second form. So because we are having past tense here, this is the reason we are writing could here, because could is used to show past capacity. And suppose if here we are having he runs. Suppose we are having runs here, he runs as fast as he, then our answer would be can. Okay, so be very careful here. You have to observe the tense. If you are having present tense, then to show the capacity you have to use can. But if you are having the past tense in the sentence, then to show the ability, capacity, capability, you have to use could. So in this sentence, because we were having ran, this is the second form, this is the past tense, and this is the reason that we are writing could. If in this sentence there was runs, then definitely our answer would be can. Clear? One more example we are having here. He said that he could swim. Again in the sentence we are having said, that is the second form of the verb. Again we are having past tense here, and because we are having past tense, this is the reason we are writing could here to show the ability that someone is able to swim, right? We are showing the ability, but this ability is of past tense. This is the reason that we are writing could here. Okay, so this is very important thing. This is something very important that you have to be very careful about. You have to be careful about the tense, that what tense you are having in the sentence. If you are having present, then you have to use can. If you are having the past tense, then you have to use could. Okay, why? To show all these things, to show all these feelings, or we can say to show all these moods. Moving on, we are having the second use of could. So in this use we are having one structure. In this structure we are having could you in the beginning, and we are having please at the end, and at the end we are having one question mark. So the structure is could you, and at the end we are having please, and this structure is used to show polite informal request. Okay, so if we are having this kind of feeling, we just want to express some polite informal request. So for that we can use this model could, and then we have to follow this structure only. So let's see the example. The first one is could you just switch the light on. So here we are having could you in the beginning. So here we are having some request, right? We are requesting someone to switch on the light. Second, we are having could you type these letters please. So in this sentence also we can have please, and if we are not having please also, then also this is a kind of request. So second sentence is could you type these letters please. So here also we are having could you, and in this sentence also we are making polite request. So yes, could you, if the interrogative sentence is there, at the end there is one question mark, and could you is there in the beginning of the sentence. So this structure can be used to show request, and very polite request in fact, and that too in a very informal manner. So if you are sitting somewhere and you are requesting someone to switch on the light, so you can make your sentence in this structure, that could you please switch on the light, or you can write could you just switch the light on. Okay, next we are having third use of could. So let's read. Could have plus third form of the verb. Again we are having the structure, and in this structure we have to use could have along with third form of the verb. So what it means? It means ability not used in the past. So what it means? Let's read the example. We are having one sentence here. He could have won the race if he had run fast. So students, are we able to recall something here? Yes, this is the conditional sentence that we have discussed in a very detailed manner when we were studying our topic tense. So this is the conditional sentence in which we are having two clauses. We are having one condition here, if he had run fast, and here we are having had run. Had run means past perfect tense, and this is the reason we are having here could have won here in the result clause. So जब हमने conditional sentence पढ़े थे, then also we discussed this structure that this word could it can be used in conditional sentence, but the structure should be that the condition clause should be in past perfect tense. Then we can use could have plus third form in the result clause. Okay, so yes, could have plus third form, it is used in conditional sentences, and this thing we have discussed, we have read in very much detailed, in previous videos. Okay, so next, moving on, we are having the next use of could. So let's see. So this is also used for permission and in past time, because we all know that could is used in past. So yes, if we are asking for the permission, if we are talking about permission but in the past time, so we can use could. So let's see the example. He said I could go. So again here you have to be very careful. You have to observe the tense. So here we are having he said. Again, said is the second form, and second form means here we are having past tense. He said, this is past tense, and this is the reason here we are using could, and here it means permission. He said I could go, it means he gave the permission, he gave the permission to go, right? And this means he said I could go. Second is we could stay out of the hostel till 10 p.m. So here also we are talking about the permission, and this permission shows past time because we are having could here. So in the past time we were having the permission that we were able to stay out of the hostel till 10 p.m. So this is the next use of could, where could is used for the permission but only and only in the past time. Next, we are having one more use of could. So let's read. In conditional sentences, it indicates a supposition or possibility if the other clause has a past verb form. So here again we are talking about the conditional sentence. So let's read the example. The sentence is, if he worked hard, he could stand first. So again we are having the conditional sentence, but now we are having a different structure. Now what is there in the condition clause? The condition clause is, if he worked hard, it means the condition clause in past simple tense. So we are having he could stand first, we are having could plus first form. Okay, the second one is I would help him if I could. Okay, so it means that could, it can also used in conditional sentence, and that time it shows supposition or possibility. Okay, but the structure should be that the other clause should be in the past verb form, right? So these are the major uses of this model, that is could. The first thing that I want to clear here, the first thing that you have to be very careful about, that could, we can say it is the past form of can, and it is used in the past form also. It can use in the past tenses only, we can say. Okay, and yes, just like can, it shows ability, capacity, but only and only in the past tense, and it is also used in the conditional sentences. It is also used for the permission, but that permission should be there in the past tense only and only. So just be very careful, read the sentence again and again just to observe the tense of the sentence, and then according to the tense you have to use the models, because if you are having present tense you have to use can, if you are having past tense then you have to use could. Okay. Next, moving on, we are having the third model. So now the next model that we are having here is may. So let's read. May is used for all person of the present tense and of the future tense. So first thing that we have to be very careful about here is that may is a model that is used for all the persons. All the persons means it is used for singular also, it is used for plural also, just like can and could, right? So जब हमने can और could पढ़ा था, then also we were not having any particular rules कि can हमें singular के लिए use करना है या plural के लिए use करना है. So for all the subjects we were able to use can and could. Similarly, may, the next model, it is also used for all the persons, for singular also, for plural also, for all the persons, but it is used in the present tense and it is used in the future tense also, but it cannot be used in past tense. Okay. Next we are having the uses. Let's see what are the uses of this model, that is may. So let's read the first use. It is used to express or seek permission. So the very first use of may, that is very common use also. It is used to express or we can say to seek permission. So इससे पहले भी हमने permission word पढ़ा था when we were discussing can. So at that time also I cleared this thing that may and can, they both are used for the permission. But what was the difference? The difference is that may is a very formal kind of permission and can we use in a very informal permission. So if we want to ask, if we want to give a formal permission, then we have to use the may. So let's read the examples here. The first is may I take your book. Second is you may go. Next is may I use your pen. So again I want to clear this thing that may is used for the permission but in formal permission, and the second is that it can be used in both the cases if you are asking for the permission or if you are giving the permission. So here someone is asking for the permission, he is asking that may I take your book, and here someone is giving the permission, he is saying that you may go. So in both the manner, if someone is asking the permission or if someone is giving the permission, this model, that is may, it can be used, but you have to be careful that you have to use this model may for formal permission, and yes, you can use can also, but can is used in informal permissions. Next we are having the second use of may, and again it's a very common use and we all use may in this manner. So let's read. So may is used to express a wish or blessings. It means that if we want to wish someone, if we are having blessings or prayer someone, then we have to use this model, that is may. And how? So let's see some of the examples. The first one is may he live long. Second is may she has good health. So here we are having some wish, here we are having some blessings, or we can say some prayer for someone. So in this manner we can use may, and then what will be the structure of the sentence? May will be there in the beginning of the sentence, and at the end of the sentence we have to use exclamation mark. Okay, so this is the use of may. It is used to wish someone to have blessings or some prayer for someone. Okay, and this is a very common use of may. Next we are having the third use of may. So let's read. To express possibility, guess or speculation. So yes, this is another use of may, and here we have to use may to show possibility, to show guess, or we can say to show speculation. And how? So let's see some of the examples. The first one is the sky is cloudy, so it may rain today. So here we are having the possibility. First of all, we are having this sentence, we are saying that the sky is cloudy. It means there are so many clouds in the sky, and because of this reason that the sky is very much cloudy, so we are having the possibility that it may rain today. And yes, you have to observe this thing that it is very strong possibility, because we are having this sentence in the beginning that the sky is cloudy, and because of this clause, or we can say because of this phrase, we can say that it is having a very strong possibility that it may rain. So yes, may is used to show very strong possibility. Next example is that today is my birthday, so he may come. So again we are having the guess, we are guessing something that because of this thing that it's my birthday today, so he may come, right? So this is the next use of may. So here we are having this thing that may is used to express, to denote, to write to what? Possibility, guess and speculation. And the possibilities that are expressed with the help of may, they are very strong possibility, like this example, because we are having this thing that the sky is full of clouds, there are so many clouds in the sky. So yes, it is a very strong possibility that it may rain. The next use of may that we are having here, so let's read. If a principal clause is in present tense and subordinate clause starts with that, so that, in order that, then it shows purpose, and we use may in subordinate clause. So this is the next use, and according to this use, if we are having two clauses in a sentence, we are having principal clause and we are having subordinate clause, and the subordinate clause starts with any of these words like that, so that, and in order order that. Then in the subordinate clause we have to use may to show the purpose. So what it means, let's see the example. The example is work hard so that you may get good marks. So first of all, observe this thing that we are having two clauses. The first clause is work hard, and the subordinate clause, or we can say the second clause that we are having here is so that you may get good marks, and in the beginning of the subordinate clause we are having so that here. Okay, so this is principal clause, work hard, this is subordinate clause, and in the beginning of the subordinate clause we are having so that. So if we are having that, so that, in order that, then we have to use may in the subordinate clause. Why? Because we want to express purpose, we want to show purpose, right? So this is the next use of may. Let's revise one more time. So here we are having two clauses, principal clause and subordinate clause, and in the beginning of the subordinate clause we are having any of these words like that, so that, in order that, and if we are having the mood, or we can say we are having the feeling of purpose, then we have to use may in the subordinate clause. Clear? So these are the major uses of may. It's a very important model. Generally it is used to show the permission, right, in both the manner, to take the permission, to give the permission, but that permission has to be very formal. Second very important use of may, it is used to show very strong possibility, and again a very common use of may when it is used to, you know, express some greetings, some wishes, some blessings, some prayers, right? And yes, in this manner also may is used in subordinate clause to show the purpose. So this is all about this model, that is may. Next, moving on, we are having our next model, that is might. So let's read first of all where it is used. Might is used for all persons of the past tense. So first of all, let's understand this thing, that just like could, it was the past form of can, similarly might, this is the past form of may. So yes, may was used in present and future time also, and might is used in past tense, and it is also used for all the persons. It is used for singular subject also, for plural subject also, for all the persons, for all the subject might is used, but only and only in the past time, only and only in the past tense, and it is used when the main verb of the sentence is in the past tense. Clear? Next, see the uses of might. First use, permission with hesitation or politeness. So yes, might, it is also used to show the permission, but that permission is full of hesitation, that permission is full of politeness. So how? Let's see. Might I use your telephone? So here also we are asking for the permission, but we are full of hesitation. Why we are full of hesitation? Because maybe that person is totally unknown to us, but we are in a very urgent need of this thing, that we have to use that person's telephone. So we are full of hesitation, we are thinking so many times, should we ask, should we no, should not ask, but after all the hesitation we are asking for the permission, so we are using might here. Clear? Next example, he said that I might borrow his cycle. So here we are saying something, that that person was giving this permission, that I was having the permission to borrow his cycle. So here in this manner we can use might. So yes, might is also used to, you know, to show the permission, but that permission should be full of hesitation, or we can say in a very polite manner. Next use of might, let's read. Remote, rare, or we can say very lesser possibility. So इससे पहले, you know, we have read may also to show the possibility, and it at that time I repeated this thing again and again, that with the help of may we show very strong possibility. But if we are having might to show the possibility, at that time that possibility is very remote, rare, or we can say very less possibilities there. So let's see the example. The sky is clear, it might rain. So be very careful here. Focus on this clause first. We are saying that the sky is clear, there are no clouds in the sky, the weather is very much clear, there are no clouds, sky is clear. So when the sky is clear, so there are very less chance that it might rain. So this is the reason that we are having very remote possibility, we are having very less possibility. So we are using this word, that is might. Okay, so students, learn this thing very carefully. I am writing the sentence again to make this clear you all. Suppose we are having the sky is cloudy and we are having it blank rain. Second, let's write the same sentence that we are having here. The sky is clear. Again we are having it blank and rain. So we are having these two sentences, and what is the difference? The difference is in the first clause. In the first sentence we are having the sky is cloudy, the sky is full of cloud. So because of this thing that there are so many clouds in the sky, it is a very strong possibility कि जो बारिश है वो हो सकती है. So here in the first sentence, when we are having very strong possibility, then we have to use may. But in the second sentence we are having that the sky is clear, the weather is clear, there are no clouds in the sky. So we are having very less possibility कि rain होगी. So to show the less possibility, we will use might here. So this is the difference in may and might. When we use may and might to show the possibility, when we are having very strong possibility, we use may, and when we are having very remote, very less possibility, then we use might, right? So this is the difference. Next example we are having here is Ramesh is busy tonight, so he might come. Okay, so in this manner we can use might to show remote, rare or very less possibility. Next example, to express speculation, possibility about past actions, and at that time we have to follow this particular pattern, particular structure, that is might have plus third form of the verb, right? So this is used for past time. So we are having another use, and according to this use, might as a model, it is used to show, to indicate speculation, or we can say possibility, and that too about past actions, right? And at that time we have to follow this particular pattern, that is might have plus third form of the verb. So this is used to show the past time. So now let's see the example to clear this thing, what it means actually. So let's read the example. You might have deposited your fee yesterday. So here we are having this pattern, that is might have plus third form, that is deposited. So this is a structure, and with the help of this structure, we can say using this structure we can show the possibility of a past time, and this is the remote possibility in the past time. Okay, so this is the sentence, you might have deposited your fee yesterday, and just remember the structure when we are using might to show the speculation, or we can say possibility. So at that time might is used with have, and after that we have to use third form of the main verb. This is the structure, and this structure is used to show past possibility, and that too, that is very remote possibility in the past time. Okay, so this is another use of might. Next we are having fourth use of might. So let's read. In suppositional sentence that start with I wish, we wish, he wishes, etc., we use might. So if we are having this kind of structure, that if in the beginning of the structure we are having I wish, we wish, he wishes, then we have to use might. Like we are having the example, I wish he might have seen Mother India. So in this sentence, in the beginning of the sentence, we are having I wish. Okay, so this is the reason we are using might here. We are using might have plus third form of the verb. So in this manner also we can use might. Okay, so this is all about this model, that is might. Just remember that might is the past form of may, and it is used in very remote possibility. It is used to show very less possibility, and yes, it is also used for the permission when we are full of politeness, we are full of hesitation, then we can use might for the permissions also. Okay, Moving on, the next models that now we are having are shall and will. So yes, I told this thing earlier also, that don't get confused. Yes, shall and will, they are the helping verbs of future tense, but they are also the part of model. They are included in the model auxiliaries also. So when they are included in the model, so let's see what are the uses of shall and will. So let's read. As a model, use will with first person and shall with second and third person. So this is the difference. What is the difference? Just read these lines very carefully. When we were studying the tenses, at that time हमने चीज़ बहुत बार डिस्कस की थी that we are having two helping verbs shall and will, but shall is supposed to use only and only for I and we, and for rest of the subject we were using will. But here when they are used as a model, then all the things they just get opposite here, because now we have to use will with first person. First person means I and we. So now we are using will for I and we and shall for all the other subjects. So this is the difference. Okay. So let's read the uses as a model. Shall or will कहाँ use होते हैं? So let's read. First one is order or command, or we can say wish. So let's read the examples. You shall come on time. You shall do it. Shall he carry your luggage? So if in a sentence we are having these moods, we are giving order, we are giving the command, or we are showing the wish. So at that time we can use shall and will as a model, but just be careful. We have to use them according to this thing, that for I and we will use will, and for all the other subject, like here we are having you and he, we are using shall, right? So this is the difference. Here shall and will, they are not as as helping verb. Here they are as a model. So this is the difference. We are using shall with you, we are using shall with he. Next use determination. So yes, shall and will, they are used as a model to show the determination. Let's read the example. I will go there, come what may. So here some person is very much determined to do something. He is saying that I will go there, and here we are using I के साथ हम will use कर रहे हैं. Why? Because here will is used as a model. So someone is saying this thing, he is showing his determination, and he is saying that I will go there, come what may. Second is I will lay down my life for the sake of my motherland. So here in these examples we are having the feeling, we are having the mood to show the determination, and this is the second use of shall and will. They are used to show the determination. And just be careful, this thing again, I am repeating this thing, that here as a model we will use will for I and we and shall for all the other subjects. Next use is to show threat or a warning. So yes, this is also another use of shall and will. They are used to show threat, or we can say warning, like I will beat you, she shall be punished for her misdeed. So here I am giving the warning to someone, or we can say we are giving the threat to someone that I will beat you. Again we are having this thing that she shall be punished for her misdeed. So we are having this kind of warning for someone that if she will do the misdeed, then definitely she shall be punished. So here for I we are using will, and for she we are using shall, because here will and shall, they are used as models. Next use is they are used to show promise, or we can say intention. So let's read the examples. I will help you in need, he shall get a reward for his faithfulness. So here we are doing a kind of promise. We are saying that I will help you in need, right? And here also we are having this thing that he shall get a reward for his faithfulness. So to show promise, to show the intentions, we can use will and shall as a model. Next is to show the willingness, or we can say offer, like I will help you as far as possible. Again we are showing our willingness, right? I will carry that parcel for you. Here we are having some offer for someone. So for these things, to show the willingness or to give the offer, we can use will and shall as models. Next use that we are having is In interrogative sentence, shall is used with the first person to express an offer for suggestion. So yes, it is also used in the interrogative sentence, and in that structure, shall, it is used with the first person. Why? To express offer, or we can say suggestion. Like we are having the example. So in this manner, this will be the structure of the sentence. We will have shall I or shall we at the beginning, and at that time we were having the suggestion, we were asking suggestion. Like if we are having the example, where shall we go? Shall I get you a glass of water? So here we are asking for the suggestion. Okay, this is the interrogative sentence, and here we are using shall with we, here we are using shall with I, because we are having the interrogative sentence here and we are asking for the suggestion. So in this manner we can use shall with the first person, we can use shall with I and we in the interrogative sentence to show this thing that we are asking for the suggestion. Next use is, it is used to express a resolution. Again, resolution means determination, we can say. Like if we are having I will do or die, and one more example we are having, we will root out corruption. So yes, we are very much determined, we are having this resolution that we have to do this thing, and to show resolution, to show determination, we use will and shall as models. Next we are having will you. So this is the structure, and this shows the invitation in a very friendly situation. So let's read the examples. Will you have a cup of coffee or cup of tea? Next is, will you open the door? So in this manner we are having question mark at the end of the sentence, and will you, it is in the beginning of the sentence. So here we are having the invitation, we are giving the invitation to someone, and we are saying that will you have a cup of coffee. Again we are asking this thing that will you open the door. So in this structure also will and shall, it can be used. Next use it, will shows habit with second and third person. So if we are using will as a model with second and third person, then it shows a habit. So let's read the examples. Boys will be boys, and we are having he will talk about nothing but a film. So if we are showing the habitual traits of someone, if we are talking about the habits of someone, at that time we can use will, okay, with second and third person if we are showing the habits, right? We are having one more use of will and shall as a model. It is used to show the assumption, or we can say the probability. Like we are having that will be the postman, I think. So we are assuming this thing that that will be the postman. This will be the book you want, I suppose. So we are showing the probability, we are assuming this thing. So here in this manner we can use will and shall as models, right? So this is all about will and shall. They are helping us also, and they are model auxiliaries also, and when they are used as a model, then these are the different uses, and the most important uses are that they are used to show determination, resolution, right? And all the different uses we have discussed. So yes, in models we are having 13 models. Some of the models we have discussed in this video, and the rest of the models we will cover in our next video. So just be with me. See you in the next video. Thank you.